Guyana TV Network.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
Hi guys, we're back for another episode of Howzat. Jemima Holmes alongside my trusted co-host Michelangelo Jacobus, Timothy Jaikaran, Sean Devers, and of course, the Brandon Carlett. We have so much to recap in the world of cricket this week, and of course, we have so much to look forward to. Right off the bad guys, some people are disappointed. I know some people are very disappointed. You're not going to hear much from them today, and that's okay. That's fine, you know? But so much happening, especially...
Two on my right?
I don't want to point fingers, Michelangelo. but Sean, do you have anything to share with us this week?
Yes, Titans lost.
Sean, don't rub it in.
They are now losing.
Stupidness.
The man in line for the best T20 player in the world accolade.
He's just out of form.
But I'm sure we've seen the list.
Yeah, he's just out of form.
So give Jemima credit.
For what?
I'm not ashamed. You got to give credit where credit is due. You predicted that we would get that big loss. We got that big loss.
And this is my second prediction, guys, mind you.
She also predicted, might I add, that our bowling has been failing us, and we see for 2 games our bowling failed us badly. So we're hoping
the batting failed this time.
Yeah, so we're hoping that they can regroup and because they can't get knocked out.
Do you want me to make another prediction?
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
To regroup them. That's all I have.
Yeah, definitely
go back to
regrouping
the
at this
drawing
stage.
board and come back
for next.
strong.
Guys, y'all are talking about the loss they suffered
No,
and they cannot make it into the top 2 as well.
Who beat them again? LSG? LSG.
I did do that prediction as well.
Yes,
we beat y'all and them. So, you know, my predictions came true. We went out with a bang.
I'm not saying anything because, you know, I just say, I told you so. Mumbai Indians will finish in the top 2 and win the tournament. That's all I have to say.
That's it.
Bold predictions.
And Titans will finish in the top 3 and win the tournament.
But we made
I'll lose all their other
We
games.
made bets, you know, Brandon used the only person that didn't make a
Tournament
bet.
has a lot of winners, evidently. But Titans are not the only people that lost this past week. We had a shocking loss. I mean, the guys are shocked probably, but not me. we had a very shocking loss on the international stage from the West Indies.
Ireland?
Let's not get into it. You know, we can talk about that later. But that's something to come up. That's something to come up. But West Indies are West Indiesing in Ireland, guys.
I think once we drink too much again,
All three of the teams, the West Indies A team, the women's team.
That was a difficult...
the women's
Oh my
team.
lord.
You mean Haley Matthews team.
That was a tough day.
She scored 100 and I was like, nah, this is going to
And
be
they make
real.
142.
What is
Yeah.
that?
So the other 10 players accounted for
40 something runs.
Typical West Indies things.
And without Dottin and
Chanel Henry.
and Stephanie Taylor and Henry.
Well, Stephanie Taylor is on the brink of her career. I don't really count her or depend on her to score centuries anymore.
And it was a very young team. 6 Guyanese in it.
If Haley
The only Guyanese that went was
next
Campbell.
Timothy,
Please.
they're going to make 47 all out.
So, a lot to
Don't even
discuss.
think about that. Yeah. Of course, there's not much local to discuss as the rain is doing its thing in Guyana right now. Even the T10 cricket, I believe, that was supposed to be held on Sunday,
to July.
has been postponed to next Sunday, I believe.
No, July.
July.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So they just accounted for the whole month of June, right?
That's right.
People talk about West Indies. Look at Zimbabwe.
Right.
They lost by innings and 140 something.
Like
3 days.
Something
like
wrong.
West
In a
Indies.
4-day test.
Like
Yeah,
West
in a
Indies.
4-day
But
test.
Like
it's
West Indies.
Zimbabwe.
But a guy from Zimbabwe made 100.
Brian
Record
Yeah.
100
At least he
for
made 100.
Zimbabwe.
At least he gave a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a Haley Matthews. Let's call it that.
Speaking of hundreds, we have to say Kesey Carty back-to-back
Back-to-back
centuries.
centuries. Almost
We
a
don't
double
get
in
these
this
things.
match.
We don't get these things often, so we have to shout out to Carty.
Y'all see how easily impressed they are? Yeah,
The
y'all
man
see, right?
scored 200
Yeah, see,
in
right?
2 ODI games.
I could go
But against
I could go
Against Ireland, exactly.
claim a 5 wicket haul against Rubens.
Let's see
in the second
England.
division.
Let's against England.
Before we get more into a more depressed tone, we must say, did anybody win the 40 grand? Anybody knows?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Denzel Grant Stewart. He won the 40,000.
Well, we'll get into that
I
later.
think I know that guy, Denzel.
No, Denzel Grant
Denzel
Stewart.
Grant.
Yes.
Yeah,
Not the
Denzel, you
cyclist.
owe your girl a raise. I know the guy. That's my friend.
Yeah, all right.
This-
So, yeah, just make sure you slide down a couple.
yeah.
Not
I can do a
funny.
thing for us. I got ya.
15, 20.
No, not so much, man. Come on, guys.
There's more than half of the
Oh, guys, we have so much more to come up on the other side of our commercial break. Of course, we want to thank C-Rock for hosting us once again at their beautiful venue. And of course, we want to say shout out to Edward B. Bihari for sponsoring us once again with the Pulse Energy Drink. This is Howzat, filmed live in Guyana. Stay tuned.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
I in a mood right now. Said we ready. I can't worry about no way I can't fix. I want some rum, I want some girls, I want some weed. I want party. Yo, kiss what we I'm in a mood and I want turn up. You should talk how you're feeling. Pour some rum right now in my cup. I can see how you're feeling.
All right, welcome back, guys, to yet another edition of Howzat. And of course, we're here with, one local update since the weather has been terrible. And I know we got a lot on the international side of things. But before we head over there, you must know that the Guyana Cricket Board has recently named the training squad, the initial 21-member training squad for the under-19 team that is going to represent Guyana at the regional tournament. I wouldn't say that there are any surprises, but for the audience benefit, I'll just read the squad list. So the players selected are Ramprasad Ramnath, Parmeshwar Ram, Romeo Dionarine, Sachin Balgobin, Jonathan Van Lang, of course he's the captain, Afraz Ali Budu, Romario Ramdiol, Shamar Apple, Salim Khan, Riyad Latif, Gulcharan Chulai, Nityanand Mathura, Bruce Vincent, Micah Amsterdam, Weevil Allen, Niran Bani, Sanjay Algu, Jaden Dowlin, Shiloh Adams, Matthew Potaya, and your boy Sean, Ronaldo Jeffrey. So some familiar names in there and some guys stepping up from the under 15 level to the under 19 level.
That's good.
What do you guys think about it?
I think it's a good squad. Many people might not know that Isaiah Thorne is the brother of Amsterdam.
Mike Amsterdam, yes.
But it's a good squad. Van Lan recently went out to St. Kitts, to play a tournament. His team got knocked out, but that's overseas exposure, good for him.
Yeah.
But it's a good team, and I'm hearing they're going to Essequibo.
Yeah, they're in Essequibo as well. They were in Essequibo over the last weekend because, according to the cricket board, a lot of rain in Berbice and Demerara, but I don't know what's going on in Essequibo. For some reason,
well, I know what's going on.
on there.
Yes. So, they had training sessions at the ongoing the stadium there.
So, Michelangelo, what we're saying is that Essequibo has cricket facilities?
Apparently,
is that
yes.
what is going on?
Yes, apparently.
Wow.
So, I saw some pictures and the ground doesn't look too bad to me. But when next time I go to Essequibo, I'll be certain to visit and, take a look around and see what's going on. So, any surprises for you guys in the squad? Well, not to me, but...
not really, but I would have liked to see young Hetty Meyer be in the squad. Yeah.
So you think he was overlooked?
Not really, but he has to make more runs.
He has to be more consistent.
In high-level cricket.
Yeah.
I mean inter-county, because the more he's always making big runs on the 13 and on the 15, and those are not real good teams. The bowling standard in
his quality of batsmanship is above that.
I was made to understand he's a bit more focused on his education at this point.
Well, that's good.
Given the trend of that last name, I don't have any umbrage to that. That is a great move, actually.
Yeah,
but his father, Sion, was one of the better on the 19 batters for Guyana. I saw him make a brilliant 100 against Trinidad and Barbados.
And not only that, I think when they had that franchise league when it just started, Sean, it was a 2-day or 3-day tournament. I think he scored a double century in that. So
and he's still playing for Barbados.
He's good. He's really good. So runs in the family, the Meyer family, literally
runs in the family.
So, I'm particularly pleased to see Shamar Apple stepping up and called up to that level, and he's still 15, right? Still 15, and I think I expect to see runs from him in the regional tour.
One of my friends from Antigua, James, is going to look at the program. Good morning, good night to you, James, in Antigua. He is a big fan of Van Lang and Apple. He asked me last night if Apple is in the side. I said yes.
Okay, so James, guys, you can look forward to seeing both of them.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm probably, going into James' mind, those guys are aggressive by nature, and that's what we need in cricket. Right? Positivity. You gotta go there and get runs. That's the name of the game, runs. And you put pressure on bowlers.
New policy.
But there are ways in approaching the game at the same time. So you don't have to go and swipe there like
turn Brandon King into a swiper now. Brandon King scored runs like how Carty scored runs here.
But you guys are surprised that Brandon King is going through a rut?
No, Brandon King is directed by Sammy how to bat.
Oh, okay. What I want to put out there
so you're
is that
saying the man is a director, Sean.
Brandon King would have been successful.
A man with many hats.
If the tournament was being played in Guyana. He likes the Providence Stadium.
Yes.
Brandon King always comes to the Providence Stadium, makes a statement there, gets back his West Indies selection, and then whatever else happens.
But Brandon King can bat.
He can. He's a talented batsman.
But when he tries to hit the ball hard and lose his shape, that's when he don't make runs. But he made runs with classical strokes, like how Casey Carty is doing now. I hope Casey Carty don't change into a slugger.
Now that we're into that realm, let's turn our attention to the international stage, right? So we're doing the updates on the international stage, and let's start with the women first, right? I know Jemima is a huge Haley Matthews fan, and we were saying as a Haley Matthews team.
Rightfully so.
I couldn't believe she scored a century, I was like, she scored 100. What's the scorecard?
147.
I had to double check when I saw it.
So they lost that series by what? 2-0 margin?
Yeah.
Well, they had to play the 30-20.
Yeah. On Monday.
On Monday, right. Most likely it's a
But
white
the
one.
series is already wrapped up because England won those first two games and very convincingly.
I don't know if you guys I watched Rihanna's debut, right? She also made her debut. Congrats, Rihanna. And that was one of the most bizarre dismissals that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, she seemed overwhelmed by
right.
the
I was saying
she
that
didn't think.
It would happen to a young player.
Yeah.
And Hayley Matthews was livid.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
See, these people got to realize.
But she's
nerves.
She's pretty young and inexperienced, so I don't really blame her.
No, we can't be too hard.
Yeah.
No.
But at the same time, well, she's now a professional, I would say.
Yeah.
You're a professional cricketer, and you have to be aware at all.
And those are the principles of the
Exactly.
game.
That's the
learn
basic
these
stuff.
things from
Basics,
the club level. Well, they don't have no club cricket for
Exactly.
female. But you've got to learn it from your formative level.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
coaches got to teach you all these things.
And then we had a couple of West Indies A matches against South Africa A.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, we lost the first one. The second one was washed out by rain, but
We would have lost the second one, you know.
You think
yeah,
so?
because they made 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
South
big
Africa,
target.
Yeah.
It was a big target.
But what's the positive in those two games, if you guys had to?
All right,
I think Kevlin Anderson
I
was
was
a shining
okay.
star.
Anderson, but he needs to go on to score more.
The same
Yeah,
you've
he
been saying
made
for
what,
weeks, Sean.
He made 47.
Yeah, and it was a good looking.
And then he
It
got
wasn't
He
too
had
slow.
27 from 24 deliveries in
And
the
they
way
were
that was
effective
washed
too.
out.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was looking at the game, I was keeping an eye on it, and I was particularly impressed with the way that he ran between the wickets,
Yeah.
because in that 27 that he only had 2 boundaries, a 6 and a 4. And the way that he kept rotating the strike, especially seeing that they were in a muddle at 3 down for a little bit.
Well,
Yeah,
to me,
very
Kevlin Anderson is one of our better middle order batsmen
And
who
he's
has
a-
not played Test
And he
cricket.
has a good technique.
And if he makes runs in the 2 A-team tests, I'm sure he would be an automatic choice for Australia too.
I saw him doing some bowling, surprisingly.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
he
2
bowled it.
wickets in that first game.
He had a
the
5-wicket
first-
haul
In first class cricket. But why he didn't bowl in the first class season?
Can I point out a negative? What is going on with O'Shane Thomas?
Why is he playing?
Why is
No,
why
but,
is he
but,
why is he
but
first?
Michelangelo, you're not asking the right
Oh my
question.
goodness.
You're supposed to ask, what is O'Shane Thomas doing in the squad in the first place?
Yeah, exactly.
And O'Shane
Goodness.
Thomas is one of the few players, I think there were about 6 or 7 players, who were selected for multi-format,
Yes.
meaning their names popped up in more than one of those
Yeah,
teams.
they were in the
O'Shane
test and
Thomas
they-
is in, I think, the first test team and the 5th over team. Why?
He bowled 6 overs
O'Shane
at an
Thomas-
economy rate of 9 points.
Let's hope he's
9-5.
fit for all
Against
those
an A
games.
team.
Against an A
So
team.
what is he going to bowl against an international
You
team?
remember when O'Shane first made his debut? We had fit O'Shane. He bowled well, he did well. But then O'Shane started to get big. And then O'Shane wanted to bowl fast and be big or bigger at the same time. And that's where we are right now. You can't be a fast bowler and putting on all the size.
I don't understand
But
him
what is this-
continuing to get chances.
What is this 8-team series being used for?
That's a great
All right,
question.
so,
and why wasn't Isaiah Torrance selected in
Right.
O'Shane
It's something
Thomas's
for the
place?
future.
Yeah, so it is basically, it's supposed to be a developmental
We
series.
developing
Yeah.
O'Shane Thomas.
Why?
Exactly,
No.
right?
And what about Joshua De Silva?
Right, Joshua De Silva hasn't
That
been
is the
named in
biggest
any...
snub.
What?
That is the biggest snub in that team. What, Brandon?
Brandon?
I couldn't believe it. Not only Joshua De Silva, now you have Australia coming to the Caribbean. You don't have Shamar Joseph in all the 8-team games. There is no way he will play in all the games in Ireland and in England.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? There is no way. And he hasn't had much time. He was in the IPL, he played no game.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're going to throw him in the deep end when Australia come, and Steve Smith will destroy
And
him.
we hope that he replicates.
And one would
Those things
assume
don't
that
happen.
all 6 candidates for captaincy would automatically be in the test team.
Right.
And there is no Joshua De Silva getting any match practice.
And not only that, I mean, Joshua De Silva, yes, he played a lot of white ball games, but he might play as a batsman against Australia.
Right.
Yeah.
What is more better preparation than
Than
playing
A.
against South Africa?
Right,
Like,
right,
come
right.
on.
In the 2 test
And
What
matches.
are these
something
selectors thinking?
We also have to consider is that when Australia comes and Joshua De Silva goes out to bat, the last tournament, the last let's say, professional tournament that he
Breakout
would have
league.
played. It's the breakout league, a T20 tournament. So basically, you're coming into a test series in a T20 mindset because you haven't provided him an opportunity to recalibrate his focus and his priorities in the game. So he's going to come like he playing the breakout league.
Right.
So that's why when certain players fail, we can't always blame the players.
And you
It's
know-
how we manage these players.
And the preparation that you put
Yeah.
into it.
And you know the Australians, when they come, they're not, from what happened the last time, you know, yes, they won the test series the last time, but whenever anybody looks back on that test series, they just remember where Shamar Joseph destroyed them, and they're going to come back for revenge.
They're actually
Revenge.
coming with the same squad that's playing against South
Yeah.
Africa in the World
Because,
Championship.
Sorry.
Sam
It's a big
Constas,
squad. It's a big squad.
Cameron Green is back.
Yes.
So, a lot of
And
all the big names
that's
are back.
a challenge for Chase to make his captaincy debut. Haven't played for 2 years.
Speaking about
last 10 matches 17 against Australia.
Speaking about Chase, so we turned our attention to the series against Ireland, right? It was very, very disappointing. It was a letdown. I mean,
No, but
it wasn't surprising.
Chase
but
scored a half century.
he scored 55.
Understand?
Michelangelo
he
way
did.
back in
He
ball.
did, but
half
it was a
century.
very poor half century, I might see.
Was it a half
It's
century?
a
Half
50
century's a
body.
half century.
All right, Sean. It's Australia. I hold you to that because you say 100 is not, against opposition, less opposition. It doesn't
Unless
mean
you're playing
anything.
at MM.
So I am saying, right, after we lost that first ODI so heavily by 100 plus runs, we came back and we made 350 something in the second one, although the game was washed out.
Yeah.
So people were like, jumping up all hyped, nice comeback. But we're not supposed to be coming back against
Exactly.
what
Ireland.
are considered minnows
Yeah.
in Ireland. You understand? That should be the standard. That's what we should do with little teams. Beat them up hard.
like what
But
England
we
did
have
with
become
Zimbabwe.
a minnow now too.
Here we are. That's the fact.
The status of West Indies cricket is so
Failing to
low
qualify.
that we are a minnow. We didn't even qualify
Exactly.
for the World
So
Cup.
we probably on the same
Yeah.
Can I
wavelength.
make the West
But
My biggest disappointment or hope is that Hope don't want to play test cricket. But if he played test cricket, he would be the captain of the test team. But
Yeah, he turned down the position.
because of his franchise, he says he wants to play white ball cricket. So if he's playing all three formats, he won't have time to go and play franchise
No money
cricket.
gonna make shot.
And, it was heartening to see Casey Kaki.
Yeah, he was a revelation.
He
Even
made-
though it was Ireland, you had to bat
Runs is
who's in
runs.
front
runs
of
is
you.
runs.
Runs is runs now, right? Yeah, I hear them, right? Runs is runs. Good. Making
Right.
notes.
So, I think that's it. And, well, of course, we had the IPL, and we all know everybody's team, except Brandon, suffered losses over the last
Brandon team gonna lose soon, so
At
it's
the
fine.
main
Just
stage- at the big
prepare.
stage.
We lose all the matches
Yeah.
already early. We don't lose in
And the
business.
thing that I was most surprised with, that Butler and Gill, well, Shai made 47, so he's continuing to progress. I think he's close to 700 runs
The
now.
thing, you see, Titans just can't win.
And I'm
Right.
disappointed with bowling.
Sean, I'm speaking. Titans just can't win. The reason why Butler is leaving. When Gill and Sudarshan fails, that is it.
Costa Mendes will replace Butler.
That is it for Titans.
And Rutherford, they've got Rutherford, he's going to stay.
We're going to get some
Rutherford
chemistry.
can't
Alright,
do it alone.
guys. Well,
Michelangelo, please,
much
before
pressure.
the takes get wilder.
all right, guys.
This is
So,
where we got to close this
is-
segment. We have Fleming here at Sea Rock
Yes.
in Georgetown, Guyana.
Good.
See you on another side of the break.
I in a mood right now. Said we ready. I can't worry about no way I can't fix. I want some rum, I want some girls, I want some weed. I want party. Yo, kiss what we tell I'm in a mood and I want turn up.
You should talk how you're feeling.
Pour some rum right now in my cup.
I can see how you're feeling.
The future of Guyana cricket is here. Are you ready to catch every thrilling moment? Never miss a game, news, information, interviews, and more. Guyana Cricket will now be live and exclusive on the Guyana TV network. Experience the heart-pounding excitement from anywhere in the world. Catch every second, every ball, every wicket that drops on GCB TV, the channel on the Guyana TV network app. Watching Guyana Cricket has never been this exciting. The Guyana Cricket Board has its own Cricket TV channel where you can watch all games live, get all your Guyana Cricket news and updates, watch replays of games, access exclusive interviews and in-depth information, stay connected, stay informed, never miss a game. Watch it all free on the Guyana TV network app. The future of Guyana Cricket is here. Live and exclusive on the Guyana Cricket Board's own TV channel, GCB TV. Catch all the games worldwide on GCB TV on the Guyana TV network app. Don't miss out. Download the app now and be part of the action.
Welcome to Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We offer fine dining, a sports bar, dancing, and special events. Come and enjoy a great Caribbean meal or sit and enjoy the games. Watch for our upcoming special events and live shows. Hibiscus, where you can have a wonderful time with family and friends. We are located at 8344 West Oakland Park Boulevard, Sunrise, Florida. Come out today and enjoy our wonderful atmosphere. Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We are your entertainment center in Sunrise, Florida.
Good evening and welcome back to Howzat, and we're taking things to the international side. Of course, Zimbabwe suffered a heavy defeat against England at home at Trent Bridge in 3 days. It was a 4-day test. But before that test match, what happened? It was Ben Stokes, the captain of England. He had a lot to say in his press conference. And he was hinting that Jacob Bettel, for those of you who don't know, he grew up in Barbados, and he's now playing for England, but he's currently at the IPL. I think it's for RCB.
RCB, that's
right.
correct.
RCB. So he's a talented player and one for the future as well. And Ben Stokes is saying that he might return to the team at number 3. All right? And not only at number 3, but who will he replace at number 3? And the guy that scored a century, that was Ollie Pope.
Yeah.
Importantly, Ollie Pope is the man to score test centuries against 8 different nations. Yeah. So how are you replacing a guy like that? Yes, Bettel is talented. Yes, he scored runs against New Zealand. But you can't move a man from number 3 like Ollie Pope.
Bettel's father didn't play cricket or was a part of the administration for ECB?
Well, that too. We all say politics is all over, so...
It's so easy to solve these things. Like,
just move. You clearly have seen the West Indies.
Does his talent and runs against New Zealand cement his place in that team?
So let's look at it like this. I'm putting on my selector's cap. We can have both Pope and Bettel in the team.
Right.
How? Drop Jamie Smith, the wicketkeeper.
Smith,
all right?
Yeah.
Ollie Pope can keep.
Right.
Put Ollie Pope at 5 or 6 and put Bettel at 3.
but you're still displacing a batsman who has performed in a role for somebody that you're just bringing into the team because
potential.
He has
talent.
No, it shouldn't work like that. If you're going to bring Bettel, you're going to disrupt the flow of the team.
Yeah.
Then put he in the squad that you wanted Ollie Pope to go in. So leave Ollie Pope at 3 and put Bettel at 5.
Bettel is in his 20s.
For me,
he's
yes,
very
he's
young.
a young talent, yes, but to me still has more to prove him.
I think they want him to be England captain, you know.
Better.
But he still has so much more in terms of proving himself, and I don't believe that, just bringing him and replacing him. No, he has to prove himself first, and I'm worthy of that spot.
But how would he prove himself if he doesn't play?
He can listen, remember, look at it this way, right? Remember when, Sean would remember this. Remember when Chris Gayle made his debut, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where Chris Gayle batted, I think it was 6 they had a match, right? And after he started to prove himself, where he retired at? Batting where? Not opening the batting?
I mean,
yourself?
when you look at KL Rahul, oh my goodness, he bats all over in the Indian one. So some players, you know, they're versatile.
And the thing is, you know, KL, he performs.
Exactly.
At whatever number they put him on.
Score run. But let's get back to the point. I mean, Ben Stokes, he had a lot to say recently. Before his press conference, he actually said he's quitting alcohol, guys, to focus. To focus on the Ashes.
So
and
no
he
more
wants
beers.
Why?
Just for the Ashes.
Why
just
would
for the
you
Ashes.
say that
Ashes, that's what
at
he
the press
said.
conference?
So I'm not sure if he drinks too much Pulse or something else before these press conferences.
Did he drink?
Remember Steve Smith had that problem too,
Right?
When he had to go into Alcoholics Anonymous and all of these things to
After the infamous fight outside the pub.
But like, these are things that investigative sport journalism should be finding out on their own. Not for a guy to come and sit down at the press conference and say, hey guys, I'm quitting alcohol so I could focus on the Ashes. What is that about?
So you don't have to find out, he's telling you.
But you guys think they actually have sit down with the players, the captains, before they have a press conference saying, because what Ben Stokes did there to Ollie Pope is put pressure on Pope. You see what Pope went and scored blaze a century against Zimbabwe. He had something to prove.
But I'm reading an article here that was published in an English newspaper, Independent, today. Well, not today, but Sunday, May 25th. And it says, Ben Stokes claims Jacob Bettel comments were twisted to suit an agenda. It said the opening paragraph simply says, Ben Stokes has suggested that his comments hinting at a recall for Jacob Bettel were twisted to suit an agenda and given his strong backing to Ollie Pope.
Did they mention the exact quote?
And you got to be careful with which source you get those things
the
from.
England captain appeared to suggest that Bettel, there are more than one sources that has this article. It says the England captain appeared to suggest that Bettel would make an immediate return to the test site for the series against India later this summer, saying, you put 2 and 2 together, you probably know what's going to happen.
But it's five test matches against India. Right? Let's just say you don't start with Bettel in the first 3 games. Then he will be in the last 2 tests.
Can I just say, it's a 5-match series, right?
Yeah.
Can I just say, if you play Pope for 3 or 4, then just give Bettel a chance and see what he has. He already win it already. Have nothing else to lose. Just
But
give him a
why
chance.
are we punishing Ollie Pope when he's
I
a
love Ollie Pope.
consistent
I love Ollie Pope.
performer?
Yeah, I love Ollie Pope.
Exactly.
Why is he the one that needs to be punished? Which other batsman? There are many other batsmen in the team that could rest a game or get dropped a game so that Bettel could have a chance to prove himself. There is something so sinister about what Ben Stokes said. And I know Yago said it, I'm a media person. I'm not defending the media because I know that the media always has an agenda. They twist things. And the media, I'm admitting this right
and
now.
more sensational news.
As a sport journalist, there are times when you know that something is going on or you get a tip and you go to a player and you ask a specific question and you word your question in such a way that you can get a specific answer from that player in order to run with the story that you already typed out in your head.
And that's like putting words into the player's mouth.
Because
that happens.
He further went on to say, it says Stokes subsequently clarified that he merely meant that Bettel would return to the widest squad rather than the 11 with competition for places in the top order fierce.
No, but still, there is something wrong with what he's trying. Ben Stokes is exactly, because there's still something wrong with what he said when you consider the fact that you mentioned Ollie Pope specifically. Why are you specifically mentioning Ollie Pope?
The guy
Why couldn't you call 3? If he had called 3 or 4 batsmen in the team, nobody would have batted an eye. But he specifically mentioned Ollie Pope, so then there had to have been some conversation with him and management and the coach, if it's when they were selecting the team or planning or whatever. And Ollie Pope's name came up in comparison to Jacob Bettel.
We're talking about quotes. Matthew Hayden recently said that the West Indies team is a big shadow of what it used to be. You all read that?
That's the fact.
Facebook now and defending that.
It's a zombie of what it used to be.
That's a
dopey.
It's very scary times to the West Indies.
But you know, cricket is an unfair game because Pope is in this, I don't want to say it's a mess, but in this, and you know Pope has never played white ball cricket for England.
Yes.
Only test cricket.
Yes.
So imagine a man devoting everything to test cricket. Scoring centuries, being consistent. If they say, man, we want you to keep on this tour, the man is a keeper.
And his figures are not that bad. 56 matches, 3,301 runs, average of 35.5.
He would have been the best batsman in the West Indies.
Some people test captain and even got a
Test captain.
Test captain has an average of 33.
No, 26.
26.
26
No,
shots.
I was talking about Braffett.
Oh,
Braffett is still the best batsman in
Let's
the
be
test.
specific.
With 33.
Mediocre.
Yeah.
Mediocre. And he's not being talked about getting dropped. He's actually, you know, I think he has to play his 100th test match in the series against Australia coming up. So the man probably calling all the shots saying that, oh, I can play this here and play that.
Yeah, but there's this thing for celebrity.
Yeah, but
Everybody else is getting a little graphic.
First class average is very low, below 40.
True.
You know how many first class hundreds Carl Hooper has?
Don't put me on the spot.
6 to 9.
We are not talking about why every show we got talk about it?
Make sure you get
Because you're saying that
I am not saying anything. That was the past. I am not saying anything.
6 to 9
So why you not
first
show
class
that in my
entries.
face now? I didn't say nothing. We even talking about all wrong. Ali Pope is a batsman. Kirk Braffett is a batsman. Stick to the topic, man.
He's supposed to be a batsman.
Come on, man.
Who's supposed to be a basketball?
That's it.
Let's try it. Take it.
Hello, Craig is an all-rounder by this point. Craig bowls a few overs.
He has a 5-wicket haul?
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody has a wicket.
But I still believe that Braffett should be in the West Indies team because of his experience. We don't have
Nobody else.
Yeah.
That's
So we
sad.
just got
I'm
set.
sorry.
a blind man. A one-eye man is a king in a blind man country.
Braffett. Well, guys, you heard it from the big Sean Beavers there. Craig, I hope you heard that.
One Craig.
See you guys on the other segment.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
Welcome back, guys. You're tuned into Howzat, and it's time for a little bit of excitement. We're going to go around the table and pick our player of the week. You know the drill if you've been here with us from episode 1, 2, 3, whatever episode you started watching Howzat. We're going to go around. Everybody gives their picks, whether local, international, or regional. And then we come to a consensus. I'm going to start right off the bat. My first player of the week, this is for international cricket. And it has to be Roston Chase. There is no other way to make a statement. I'm ignoring them. There's no other way to make a statement when you've just received captaincy in controversial manner than to come and make a half century. I don't care who the opposition is against. I don't care that it's England. It could be against Zimbabwe. The fact that he stuck around, he put his bat down and made more than 50 runs.
I think he took 2 wickets in that game too.
That is correct.
Oh, the perfect all around there.
Timothy. My other player of the week has to be Hayley Matthews. Hayley continues to save the West Indies women from embarrassment.
Yes, I feel like you say that every single show. Which is sad.
Continues to save them. So Hayley scored that unbeaten century in the first T20 against England. Didn't make much in the second, but listen, when you're working with the team she's working with,
my God,
you can't expect too much.
But I expected a lot more from players like Mangro and Campbell.
Definitely Mangro. I think Campbell did as much as she could. I also expect more from Shabika Gajnafi.
From injury too.
Yeah, because she didn't play that first game. That's how Liliana got to make her debut. So I think Campbell, she's been a little sketchy on the international stage, but she has showed up a few times in the past year. But I don't know, I'll give her some grace. Mangro though hasn't been knocking up the runs. So that's a point of concern. My third player of the week has to be Kevlon Anderson. He looks pretty good in that West Indies A tour. Of course, he still has to play both tests. Whether or not he's in the 11 to play the game, actually, we'll have to figure that out soon. But he looked good in the first ODI that they played, although West Indies lost 4-7 and then 2 wickets, and then 20-something in the second game. Good stuff from him. So those are my 3 picks to player of the week. Nothing else from me. Go Brandon. Go.
Nothing controversial this week.
John Campbell in play. Joshua De Silva.
You see, they should have dropped Evan Lewis and let Campbell play against Ireland.
Right.
Agreed.
Because the man got a good record. Right? So my player of the week, it will be Casey Carty, back-to-back centuries.
And a big century.
And the century in the tour.
One that we hope to see. Something we hope to see Kevlon every day.
170. So that was good to see. So Carty is my first player of the week, and of course Hayley Matthews scoring a century. 1 out of 140. She scored a century, guys. That's cricket 07 on the computer.
They carry me back to being right? She's when Lara was scoring a century and the team were allowed for 180 or something like that.
Man. You know, the other player of the week, we guys have to keep a close eye on Jediah Blades.
Why is Steele my player?
He's sweet enough. He's sweet for local.
So
I know you're not going to relate, but he's
I don't know
sweet for local.
Alright. Blades is a left arm seam bowler, and that's rare.
Yeah, we've been lacking those.
I mean, they had Sheldon Cottrell. Where is he?
Well, he's probably back in the army.
Right?
I saw him bathing in the river the other day. So, Instagram keeps you updated.
So we have Blades, and what Blades is special because he can swing the ball
both ways. Yeah.
All right, and he can bowl at the depth. All that change of pace, he's like doing Bravo. Right? Let's not put him there as yet, but he has the potential, and I hope to see West Indies manage him well. So
my players of the week, Casey Carty for his back-to-back hundreds. I'm hoping that he replicates this kind of form when they go over to England. Hayley Matthews, the one-woman army. Her 100 was phenomenal for a girl especially. She hit the ball really hard. A girl is not as strong as most men. That's a fact.
I ain't entering into that ball.
But she plays in the... That's my view. She plays in boys cricket in Barbados. So she's well equipped. And she's gotten bigger and stronger now.
I respect it.
And she made a great 100 in a low score. My other player is Kelvin Anderson. But he's got to learn now when he gets to 47 and so on to go big. That's his only problem.
Yeah, whoever's teaching them though should teach he and Kemal Savory. And when they get to those numbers, they need to...
That's where technical support staff is important. All the big teams, they have psychologists or whatever, right? They have people there that work with them on the mental side of things. Cam Green was one of those people that had to seek that kind of help. And I think that's something that should be looked at in this part of the world.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So Carty,
Matthews
and Anderson.
Timothy?
All right, well, my players of the week, I'm going to have to say Casey Carty for those consecutive centuries. Yes, we know it's against Ireland, but runs is runs at the end. Runs is runs. Man. Not everybody could have made a century. Certain openers didn't even pass in 20.
Yeah, against the same opposition.
Opposition, so love that for him. I remember when he played against England and he made that century. I watched him back to the end, from beginning to end, and it was a lovely
That was
century.
a game him and Sherfane saved, right?
Yeah. Full of strokes, power hitting, everything. Lovely talent for the future. My second player would be Jediah Blades for his 3 for 39 in the first game, and I think 3 for 61 in the game that was washed out.
And for being good looking.
Well, we will not go down that road. But, promising talent for the future. Watched him played in the breakout league, and he just has this knack of picking up early wickets when he's bowling. And the fact that he's a left armer, I hope that alone gives him a chance to really make it big, work with him, nurture him well. And my final pick would be Hayley Matthews for saving the West Indies, not only in that game from shame, but in many other games in the past. She has saved them so much. I believe they need to give this woman a land, millions of dollars in your bank account.
She's getting duty free and already.
Somebody need to give her a Lamborghini or something because she has saved the women so many times.
But the CWI and the regional boards has got to have something in place to improve the standard of women's cricket in the Caribbean.
They got to start from the
ground level up.
Shot.
Yeah,
you
made the point when you said that there is no cricket for women at the club level in Guyana. So, but those are my picks for the week. Hayley, Blades, and Carty.
All right, so I had to, while y'all were thinking, I had to really think. I had like 3 candidates from the West Indies ODI team, right? I was looking at Greaves because Greaves actually chipped in with some runs, he chipped in with some wickets. But
Michelangelo.
No, Justin Greaves saved
He's doing his thing quiet.
Matthew Ford.
And Ford as well. So I'm going with Ford because Ford picked up wickets in all of the games. And he had that record equaling half century. He's up there with A.B. de Villiers, man.
And Games record.
I didn't even dream of Ford being there.
Exactly. So I will have to go with Matthew Ford, and not just because of those performances, but if you go back on the timeline, Matthew Ford has been quietly consistent.
Don't go too far back.
Not too far back.
Don't go too far back.
Recently.
Yeah.
So,
we can walk with him.
Matthew Ford, I think he's one for the future as well. So I have Matthew Ford and Jediah Blades. Just like Matthew Ford, not just because of the West Indies A performances, but in the breakout league, I think he was one of the better bowlers for the entire tournament.
Yes.
And if you look at him, I particularly admire his action, his form, his technique. He's smooth as a left armer. He kind of reminds me of Mitchell Stark, but not with all the height and
the pace.
Right? So he has a smooth action. So Jediah Blades is my second pick of the week. And then I have to go with Casey Carty. Casey Carty, incredible guy. I like that he plays correct cricket shots and he doesn't have to slug to hit the ball far.
Sure.
So those are my 3 picks of the week.
I think we have a two-way tie. No, what? No.
Carty
we have a two-way tie. It's definitely Carty and
Blades.
Hayley Matthews.
Yeah.
Guys, 4 Hayley Matthews. 4 Carty. I didn't choose Carty. I chose a test captain.
Who's in favor? Who's in favor of? Or can we share this one this week?
Let's share this one. Please, Hayley deserves it. Oh my God.
Hayley Matthews and Casey Carty.
Build a statue, hang it in the Louvre, something. Listen, I'm going to call it now. I don't know how many years it's going to take, but I see Hayley Matthews being the first and probably the only, I don't know, as time goes on, women's cricketer in the Caribbean to have a stadium named after her. Yeah. She needs it. What Hayley Matthews has been able to do in West Indies women's cricket is, to me, far beyond any contribution that a single male player has made to the team. Yeah, I might argue with that.
Lara.
And the only thing she's not played is Test cricket. And
You mean
she
after
had
Lara
that
era?
chance.
After Lara.
Michelangelo, for real?
Yes, for real.
He just raining in the parade.
We can go and do a count and see how much time Lara rescue West Indies and how much time Hayley rescue West Indies.
But there
Let's
were
get our homework for
more
next
losses in Lara's era than wins.
And you know, the sad thing is, I think back then, as poor as West Indies was, they had a way better team than now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way better.
But that speaks about the quality of the international cricket that they were facing at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably a little less now, but hey, we hope for the future. Anyways, guys, we're going to take a break right now. In case you haven't heard it, our players of the week, we're going to have a tie this week. It's between Hayley Matthews and Kisi Karti. Taking a break, and when we get back, it's time for the money. I heard somebody won.
The whole
Double.
$40,000.
Wow.
Double the jackpot. That's crazy. Let's find out who it is on the other side. Stay with us.
I in a mood right now. Said we ready. I can't work out no way I can't fix. I want some rum, I want some girls, I want some weed. I want party. Yo, kiss me with it. I'm in a mood and I want turn up.
You should talk how you're feeling.
Pour some rum right now in my cup.
I can see how you're feeling.
The future of Guyana cricket is here. Are you ready to catch every thrilling moment? Never miss a game, news, information, interviews, and more. Guyana cricket will now be live and exclusive on the Guyana TV network. Experience the heart-pounding excitement from anywhere in the world. Catch every second, every ball, every wicket that drops on GCB TV, the channel on the Guyana TV network app. Watching Guyana cricket has never been this exciting. The Guyana Cricket Board has its own Cricket TV channel where you can watch all games live, get all your Guyana cricket news and updates, watch replays of games, access exclusive interviews and in-depth information, stay connected, stay informed, never miss a game. Watch it all free on the Guyana TV network app. The future of Guyana cricket is here. Live and exclusive on the Guyana Cricket Board's own TV channel, GCB TV. Catch all the games worldwide on GCB TV on the Guyana TV network app. Don't miss out. Download the app now and be part of the action.
Welcome back, guys, to another segment of Howzat. Now I have some really great news, and I think everyone here is excited. Someone was able to win that 200 US. That 40,000 Guyana dollars.
I you guys 200,000.
And as mentioned in our previous episode, no one got the question right, so the money doubled. That's how it became the 200 US. And someone got that chance. And who is that someone? Denzel Grant Stewart. So congratulations, Denzel. Let me tell you guys something. I know Denzel, and Denzel has been trying at this show since this segment came out. And he's asked the producer, he's been messaging, and he's been turned away. No, that's not the right answer. That's not the right answer. But guess what, guys? He didn't give up. And when did he claim it? When it really mattered. He got this. Double. So, congratulations again, Denzel, for not giving up and continuing to be so persistent.
And thanks for asking for you.
Yeah, blessing for an raise, Denzel.
Yeah. Denzel's story, it would reflect if RCB wins this year. That's the vibe,
Yes.
Let me just put it out.
Never gave it up for 18 years?
Yeah, 18 years.
Wow. That's a very long time.
Just unprovoked.
They didn't give up.
No reason for us. Violence.
All right, before we go in to the questions for this week, I'm going to hand over to Jemima, and she's going to read the questions that Denzel answered and Tell us if it was hard or not.
I have the questions.
Oh, I'm
Timothy.
sorry.
Don't worry. I
My
have the
apologies,
questions.
Brandon.
But these questions
You
are.
look pretty today.
These questions. Stop it. These questions are so easy. But I don't know why every week I have to say this name out of my mouth. Every week. Anyways, you guys gonna see. The first question. Which women's cricketer is the only person in history to have scored a debut Test 100 and a debut ODI 100? Her name is Enid Bakewell. Not the bread, but Enid Bakewell. Which cricketer had scored the most runs at the ODI World Cup until 2019? That's pretty easy. And that's the little master, Sachin Tendulkar. Carlo made a step.
Sean, make sure you get it right.
Deep breath. Carl Hooper made his West Indies under 19 Test debut against which team, and how many wickets did he take in that match? It was against England, and he took 5 wickets.
Brandon, you don't
And yes.
Yes, Sean.
Yeah, Sean.
Aye.
2 weeks after he played for the West Indies, on the 19, they were going to St. Lucia.
I didn't bar
And they
that, that's
retracted
fine,
him from the team, and he made his Guyana first class debut in Barbados and scored 126.
He will never let it rest.
No further comments?
So, Brandon, you needed to hear that piece of history. This is cricket history. This is pertinent to the show and what we're doing.
At least I left my book at home, so I can make a note of
You
that.
have a lot of notes to make if you left your book
Make
at
a
home.
mental one.
So guys, we're going to get into a few questions from the fans. And I must say, no, Brandon said that the questions that was given, it was easy. But let me tell you something. To me, they were a bit challenging. I'll give you one. The first question that you read there, if you punch it in Google, you know who it gives you? Mitali Raj. There's nothing about Enid. I can't even remember the last. Bakewell.
You forget bread?
I forget the bread, yeah. Bakewell, if you want to sponsor us, just... Yeah, so... They were very challenging questions, and I'm glad that,
And Haley Matthews will have an opportunity to make her debut with 100 next year against Australia, because West Indies now
play four
return
Test
to
match,
Test cricket after a number of years, 2006.
That's long.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into the question, guys. This is from Vicky Prahalad. It says, given West Indies' performance so far on their tour of Ireland, what do you guys think they need to do differently?
Everything.
We need to get new players and you.
Yeah, I need to give Campbell a game. That's what I need to.
No, out of joke and fun. In all seriousness, I don't know. We need a reset button.
Do you know of the Sunday school song we used to sing? And his name was named and he dipped 7 times.
Yes.
They need to just dip 7 times and be cleansed and
they
be
need a prayer
refreshed.
service, but what they need is an interfaith service. They need intervention from every religion that possibly can help.
No, but some of the players are really not stepping up as they should. And I think some of the selections need to be looked at as well. Sean?
Yeah, well, I'm satisfied with Carty's performance. But having said that, I like the Sammy's policy to go hard.
Positive.
Yeah, but that's not in the best interest of a player like
Good. That's not
Brandon
in-
King,
it's-
because he used to play nice, elegant shots.
Technically correct players.
And now
don't
he's
know to them.
being told, reportedly, allegedly, to
Sean
bat
saving us a lot.
with positivity. And he's now losing his shape. He's trying to hit the ball too hard. And I hope that Casey Carty, who's playing splendidly, don't turn to that technique also.
Right. Because I noticed Brandon King playing a lot of cross-match shots that he never used to do before.
Right.
And
that's Sammy's new policy. He said it loud and clear. We want to get as much runs,
an aggressive brand of
He feels McCollum or what?
That's the same thing I was thinking about. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking, this is basketball all over
But
again.
whatever happened to the days when the coach would come to you in the dressing room and he would say, Sean, you're making runs, you're doing a good job, keep doing what you're doing. Why is he trying to change the way that King is playing.
Wants to be remembered
No,
for
because
something.
remember,
And then you're gonna
you
drop
as a
him.
coach, when you're building a team or you're trying to reshape a team, the most important thing for you, if you want to leave a legacy, would be that you need to stand out from the other teams or the other coaches. So when he gets the players to play aggressive and make these big runs and do all these things, I'm sure Matthew Ford bought into his ideology, and Matthew Ford went on to secure himself an international record. So now it's going to be under Darren Sammy's captaincy. Under
Coaching.
Under Darren Sammy's coaching. Matthew Ford went on to do this, amazing thing. So he's going to rake in all of these.
So that's from an individual standpoint. But it's also possible that Darren Sammy will be remembered as the man that coached West Indies that suffered an ODI series loss to Ireland.
I thought we already figured this part.
But that's not the first time Ireland beat West Indies. They beat West Indies back in the 1960s or early 70s, where they had a good team. They're a big team.
But Sean, at this point here,
I don't know if we can say if there's a fine line. Can you be a great leader but not a good coach? Because I always have this ideology that I'm a leader when I'm leading you, but after now I graduate from leadership, I graduate to mentorship or coaching you. So can I say he was a great leader but not such a coach?
Here's what will answer your question. Was he a great leader but a bad captain? Was he a great leader but a bad cricketer?
What happened to all the questions, right? About his coaching, not experience, his coaching qualifications and credentials. Like all those questions are thrown out.
Well, my opinion of Sammy, who I've known personally for some time, is that he's a great leader, but an ordinary or just above ordinary captain. He had the leadership was what made him a good captain. But as a coach, I don't think he's fully equipped to be a great coach. We would never call him a great coach. And also, he's now the only selector. So he's a selector and a coach.
He has too many roles.
Dictatorship. Oh my goodness.
All right, guys. Let's move on to the next question. And this is from Andre Jones. It says, should India's captaincy have been split across formats? With someone like Bumrah or Pant leading, handling tests, and Gill ease into leadership through ODIs or T20s?
Well, let me go first.
Go first, Sean.
Yeah,
Go first,
take it away.
Bumrah, you wouldn't want to pressure him to be captain because he would have to play all the matches. And he's now recovering from an injury and so on, and he's getting on in age and so on. Gill is young,
vibrant,
and making runs. So I think he is.
Yeah, I get Jemima's face, right?
Yeah, he's the one to lead India.
He's the prince of Indian cricket.
You sure about that?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
You stand by that opinion?
Yeah.
All right, let me go, Jemima.
Somebody else start.
Plus, he's playing for the Titans.
That is why you're so behind him. That is why you're so behind him.
But Jemima, if Gill win this tournament at the IPL, well, it won't happen. But if he wins, we won't hear the end of it from Sean.
And Timothy.
You understand? But to be honest, I think, yes, he's captaincy material, but I don't think he's ready for
No, he's not.
all the
He's just
formats.
sweet looking.
Right?
Yeah,
He's not good.
He's not even consistent in test cricket.
No, he's not.
So he's had a poor run of form in tests. So I was actually surprised that he was given the test captaincy.
I mean, it's like Chase.
Yeah, right.
No,
So-
that. I wouldn't want to
Stop stressing that
Shubman Gill has been. Shubman Gill is talented. He has the potential, but he hasn't necessarily been as consistent on the international stage as other people. And one of the things when the big announcement was made, and in the comments, people were talking about his track record, basically. And somebody pointed out that Shubman Gill has the worst track record against senior countries. And it is absolutely correct. South Africa, England, New Zealand, Australia, Shubman Gill hardly performs against those countries. And let's say the tier system comes into play. Who will India be playing?
All the top ones.
The senior countries. How can you, as a player who cannot step up to the fore against your biggest oppositions, be entrusted to lead a team? And this is the thing about India's test team that truly upset me. Okay, fine, you select Shubman Gill as the captain. Where is Shreyas Iyer? Shreyas Iyer, and I'm going to say it boldly, and I'm going to stand by it 100%. Shreyas Iyer is the most underrated Indian player currently. Shreyas Iyer is the most underrated Indian player for the past 2-3 years, and probably will remain the same for the next 5 years. Why isn't Shreyas in the team? Don't tell me about nobody. Shreyas, he can't bat pace. That's stupidness.
Plus, the man won how much trophies?
Exactly.
I would
Shreyas just won
agree with
domestic
you with
trophies
the
and
fourth
the
part.
IPL.
That he's been the most consistent.
But he's not getting the opportunities like Gill, especially in Test cricket.
And Shreyas has the capabilities to lead. He just led KKR to an IPL win. He led his county teams to wins in their
Ranji Trophy.
good. So what happened to Shreyas?
Let me go. I think personality is something key to leadership. You have to have a strong presence, right? And Shubman Gill does not have that sort of presence.
He's an easygoing guy. He's a poster guy.
He seems introverted to me at times, right? And as a leader, you could look at Shreyas Iyer, you could look at Virat Kohli, you could look at Sharma. And these guys have presence. When they're on the field, they have this thing about them. And for me, Shubman Gill does not. He does not exude this.
But Sachin Tendulkar, who was captain of India, he was the same, quiet.
No, it's not about being quiet though, Sean. Sachin has an inviting presence about him. Sachin has what the kids now on TikTok are calling aura. They're big on this aura thing. That is what Sachin had. Shubman Gill doesn't have that. He cute, he's sweet. I look at the picture on Instagram and capsules. So I see Shubman Gill like that. But he doesn't. I don't know.
Before we get to the consensus of this, I mean, one of the things that for me with Gill is that, let's say we're looking at IPL, he's captain in the team or wherever it is, he's always been handed a good team.
Yeah.
And because of the team's performances, he's a great captain.
True.
Give him a bad team.
And that is one of the reasons.
It would be unlikely that India, with billions of people, would have a bad team.
You never know.
We will judge him after the England series. That is not a joke. He plays here, go and take a stroll and win. Basketball will be coming at India.
So what's the consensus, guys?
I think that Jasprit Bumrah intermittently should have been given the leadership role while they groom somebody else. And it's the same thing.
I think
I think it's the same thing that West Indies should have done. Give somebody the job temporarily, make it clear that they're temporarily getting this job so that you can groom a new person for that. My pick for Test captain would have been Shreyas Iyer. I feel like KL Rahul was overlooked. Wicket to KL. The KL. And y'all is dog out KL all the time. What happened to Jadeja? Jadeja is one of the most experienced persons
given
on
him
the team.
The captaincy for this series.
Yes, temporarily.
And have Shreyas Iyer as vice captain. And,
surprisingly, Pant is the vice captain, so that's another.
That's another. You see, listen, India, West Indies. Look at shake hands.
In terms of.
Because how did you guys arrive at Warikon and Rishabh Pant? I mean, Rishabh Pant does come out 1 and 2 times and he's getting a big score, yes. But Warikon and Rishabh Pant?
The two best test vice captains in the world.
Alright guys, let's get into the questions. And before we get into the questions, I'd just like to remind our viewers that 3 questions you have to answer this week. And the first person to answer the 3 questions correctly, you will win $100, not 200. Remember, if no one gets it right this week, it rolls over into the other week, so then it would double. But we're back. Someone got the double question. So we're back at 100 US. So I'm going to give you the questions. Please make a special effort to answer these questions. Don't wait till it builds up to answer the next week, because cat might eat you dinner. And the number is 646-1535. I finally get this number right. 646-1535. As soon as the question announced, type your answer fast and send it through. Don't waste time. Who gives up free money? Not me. Question 1 reads, according to the laws of cricket, if a batter hits the ball and it becomes lodged in the helmet of a close infielder without touching the ground, is the batter out caught? Sean might know this one. Number 2, in cricket, what does the term break one's duck mean? And the final question, I think this might be the easiest question. According to Yuvraj Singh's Test of My Life, a character from the comic book Champak is the source of what blushable nickname of cricketer Virat Kohli? All the Virat Kohli fans should know this answer.
Wow, that was a personal attack, just.
So those are the 3 questions, guys. You have 7 days to claim your money when the show airs. Please answer, claim that money. We just like to say a special shout out as we go to a commercial break to Edward B. Bihari for sponsoring us on the day. Pulse Energy drink brand. And if you guys have noticed from the beginning, I've had 2 cans in front of me. This one is empty and this one will be empty pretty soon, for giving me the necessary energy on this cold day. And we must also thank Rock Sports Bar for the wonderful environment that they've always provided for us. Check them out, guys, and we'll see you back on the other side of the break.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
I in a mood right now. Said we ready. I can't worry about no way I can't fix. I want some rum, I want some girls, I want some weed. I want party. Yo, kiss over there. I'm in a mood and I want turn up.
You should talk how you're feeling.
Pour some rum right now in my cup.
I can see how you're feeling.
Welcome back, guys. We're on the home stretch for this episode of Howzat. So much to look forward to and so many interesting conversations that we've had today, guys. I mean, I know we've discussed the West Indies and their performance in Ireland and the likelihood of Ireland beating West Indies.
Hey, Larry.
I can't even bring myself to say it. Like, the reality is it beating me bad. If this is what we are going to do against Ireland, what will happen in a few days' time when we get to England?
Oh my gosh.
And I want to ask you guys, what changes do you anticipate we'll see in this team?
Somebody coming to rescue them.
Brandon, I want you to be for real. Brandon is a serious place.
I would like to see John Campbell.
Probably put Hayley Matthews in the batting.
Bring her. Yeah. She's already in England, so she just stays there.
Just go.
And
I'd like to see the inclusion of John Campbell. Drop Evan Lewis. We know Evan Lewis is not going to do anything. One quicker ball outside our stump and you can edge it or lash it in somebody's hand within the 30-yard circle. Give John Campbell a chance. You could have given him a chance, but you continue to play Lewis that has been failing all the time.
Give Joshy a chance.
So,
Play Hetmeyer.
He will be the savior. He will be the savior.
11?
Don't worry.
11, Sean? 11?
Yeah.
Intrigue.
He'll score. He'll score.
is this conversation
Nothing
even
could
real? We
go
have two people
worse.
agreeing? Michelangelo, are you in agreement with this duo?
No.
Like,
He had a chance, Joshua De Silva.
No. Hetmeyer has a good record against England.
yeah, he does.
Right? So, you know, he has
Stranger
a point.
things have happened.
But given current form,
No, he has a point.
you do make a point though. He does have a point though.
He has to justify the reason why he was selected.
Exactly.
Well, we know why he was selected. It was out of desperation.
Yeah, did they have anybody else?
I think Brandon
Last
would like this.
reserve.
If you look at it, why I think Campbell should get a chance, he has to prove something, but he's only played 6 one-day international games and scored only 248 runs.
And 179 of them were against Ireland.
It
So
doesn't
please do the
matter-
maths.
It doesn't matter either way.
Brandon.
He's in
Give him a
form.
chance.
He's in form.
From-
Yes, from the 40.
His,
From the
his
4
stats
days.
look a lot like Haley Matthews rescuing West Indies. Make
need
100
a
and the
savior.
rest of the team make part.
We need a savior right now.
It's going to be a difficult tour, though. I hope West Indies can at least win a match.
It's going to be difficult to look at.
I look at the scores at the end of
Well,
the
I
day.
won't be waking
To
up
be on the
to all
safe
I'm
side.
not.
with a 5-hour
Aye.
difference to look at that.
I normally wake up and look at cricket. So,
Lucky for you.
England has tested out these guys against Zimbabwe. I know Bashir is going to be a problem for them.
Oh,
Believe
Lord.
me. Believe me, he's going to take wickets when.
I think the IPL will be concluded next weekend.
Yeah.
Let me put this here.
No, Brandon.
If Mumbai
Brandon.
Indians win, everybody here wearing blue for the next show.
Fair enough.
problem.
I already got to wear a red jersey if RCB
I'm not
wins.
agreeing
So.
to that.
Everybody wearing blue wants Mumbai
I
Indians.
actually don't have blue clothes.
Well, fortunately,
so
one buy.
that is the Lord.
Mine is
telling me that
one buy.
Mumbai-
Mine is
Blue
much
is
more
my
simple.
favorite color.
Mine is much more simple. We'll wear the blue if your team win. We'll wear the red
Nah,
if
we wear
your
the
team
red.
win.
No.
We'll wear the oh shucks your team in the
Aye,
inside.
aye.
Sorry about that.
Wow, all right, then, boy. I come
And you have, if our team win, you have 2 choices:
Yeah.
white.
Yeah,
No, Sean, I have something even better, and this would
complex.
last a lifetime. Everyone that has doubted us will say Gujarat Titan is the best team. Sean and Timothy, you were
Hey,
right
man.
and we were wrong. We
I'm
could
not
keep that
doing that.
video for years.
I'm not doing that.
But the rates, Rashid Khan is bowling and the batters
it
are
worries
batting.
me, it worries
It's a
me.
worrying
And
sight.
Butler's exit.
Yeah.
We'll get a
Worrying
replacement
sight.
for him, not to worry.
I'm not agreeing to either of these demands.
I just want
not
that.
happening.
I'm not
So if RCB
bored.
win, what we should do, Jemima?
You have
Well, if RCB win, is drinks on me.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
We're gonna switch
We're
out the
coming
water.
right back here.
Yes, we're gonna switch out the water for something a little more celebratory if RCB wins.
They
I'm not
don't-
making any demands of you guys.
They don't have any 18-year-old Eldorado because it's 18 years they have to wait for it. So if they had an 18-year-old,
You
we
got
could drink up.
18-year-old Johnny Walker.
But we can take the Jemima. Take that.
So this is where we've got to close this program.
I like this show.
On behalf of all my co-hosts and the person who might win the 20,000, remember it's 20,000, not 40,000. So we're filming in Guyana at Sea Rock. Bye for now, until the next show.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
Guyana TV Network.